geen idee, geliefd publiek, wat de mode hier dicteert. Ik ben nog maar net in Nederland aangemeerd, maar in het blitse, trendy... Wacht, ik zal even wachten op deze mensen. Want ik zeg net heel belangrijke dingen natuurlijk over België. Dus geen idee wat de mode hier dicteert. Ik ben nog maar net in Nederland aangemeerd, maar in het blitse, trendy, toonaangevende België is wollig in. In ons straatbeeld ziet u deze dagen dus veel baarden, bakfietsen en bomen met om de stam een gebreid jasje. Tot de hippe hobby's behoren ook haken, naaien en kantklossen om het zelf bakken van bio-taarten met bio-rabarber uit de bio-moestuin niet te noemen. U begrijpt, het is een kwestie van tijd nu eer de slinger keert en we nog eens een tijdperk krijgen waarin seks, drugs en poëzie weer hoogtij vieren. In sommige underground scenes is deze revival gelukkig al voelbaar. Verzen gaan er viraal, poëziebundels worden illegaal gedownload en van sommige gedichten wordt beweerd dat ze ooit voor grof geld zullen worden verkocht. Om maar te zeggen, u kon waarlijk geen coolere keuze maken dan om Poetry International bij te wonen. En vooral dan deze lezing, deze poëzielezing, waarin u twee bijzondere dichters van naderbij kunt leren kennen. Dadelijk een jonge, zeer getalenteerde Bask met de looks van een rockster, maar eerst een guerrilla-dichter from down under. Een zuivere Aussie. En daarmee bedoel ik niet iemand die ooit nog op de schoolbanken heeft gezeten met Kylie Minogue. Nee, iemand die in 1958 in een aboriginal reservaat werd geboren. Een cruciaal lijntje in zijn biografie, want het zijn de bevlogen protestredes van zijn volk, de Murri, die de dichter in hem hebben wakker gekust. De dichter en de activist, in zijn geval moet ik de twee in één adem noemen, want op zijn 15e al vloog hij van ondermoeders vleugels uit om te gaan doen wat hij nu, 40 jaar later, nog altijd doet. Gerechtigheid zoeken voor de aboriginals. Compensatie eisen voor hun gestolen land, hun gestolen lonen, hun gestolen families. En dat wereldwijd. En onderweg heeft hij ook wel mooi 12 bundels afgeleverd en alle van zijn debuut Cargan uit 1980 tot het vorig jaar verschenen Mobo. Snelcursus gekregen daarnet. Tot die bundel toe dus zijn ze allen met politiek engagement doorbloed. En ik zeg doorbloed, juist en niet gebreid, gehaakt of gekantklost, want we hebben hier te maken met de poëtische evenknie van Quentin Tarantino. Af en toe lijkt het er in zijn verzen best jolig, flirterig en surrealistisch aan toe te gaan, tot een keel wordt doorgesneden, een hart uitgerukt en het gedicht als een bom in je gezicht ontploft. De inzet van deze dichter is dan ook groot. Hij wil in onze hoofden en onze harten binnendringen om er onze culturele vooroordelen te verbrijzelen, onze vastgeroeste ideeën overhoop te schieten met het voor hem meest voor de hand liggende en ook meest doeltreffende wapen denkbaar, de taal. De taal van deze dichter is self-made, niet zoals in zelfgemaakte bio-rabarbertaart, maar zoals in zelfgemaakte bom. Hij vermengt aboriginal Engels met Australisch Engels, brouwt werkwoorden van zelfstandige naamwoorden en vice versa en laat syntaxis en grammatica voortdurend exploderen. Voor alle duidelijkheid, dus nee, het zijn geen taalfouten die je duidelijk ziet in de vertaling, dat hoort zo. Dat alles om u, lieve lezer / toehoorder, wakker te schudden. Want ook u dient een standpunt in te nemen aangaande de thema's die de dichter en met hem vele andere aboriginals en inheemse volkeren na aan het hart liggen. Taal, identiteit, uit kolonisatie geboren onrecht, recht op land en zwarte sterfgevallen in hechtenis. In 1993, o gruwelijke ironie van het lot, stierf ook zijn eigen broer, een danser, amper 18 jaar, terwijl hij door de politie werd vastgehouden. Dames en heren, vertrouwt u mij? En laat u zich nu alsjeblieft gewillig in de boeien slaan door Lionel George Fogarty.
Planet Earth. There's a country burnt of ashes, far beyond the stars, where stands a skillful war. Left below, so calm, so cool, this country mine weeps away falling dews. Leaves then foolish men, but one who will command the change. There above, the noise, sweet peace, crowded country awaits our beauty smiles. Obvious a ride. We emus and dolphins, we now have feathers over our bodies. You in black and me in red inside a yellow man's dream. Start us up and we'll never stop. Gonna pump up your sense, gonna rub in the juice. Is it any black wonder? Is it any white wonder? Trouble and strife making love. They fuss and crazy and screaming unto neighbours. Neighbours unto strangers are. We used to ride emus and dolphins. You wrecked our living, washing up, drinking, dancing, engaging, struggle at didgeridoo, groaning and straining. You made a grown race cry. You made a grown ape teaser. Some are lazy slobs. Some are marrying speed. Now, mean machine, open your heart starter. We shine out in the sun. We're living sacred and being shined. You gotta feel to love. Shock them, sink them. We are brothers in our own adolescence, maybe cold running. You know chain and reality, now quotes of conversations come once on a noise breeze like echoes in the name of gorillas in another range. We ride the emu fast. We speak to the dolphin for us to ride. When we win the ministry, don't come wandering about. We used to sing martyrs to the harvest of the levering fruit. Just circulate passion, surrendered in our consolation of action. Ride that dolphin and emu faster. Before they said hit, I got your respect sitting here. I got love lying in your lover's ear. I got lone stars at the nesting ear. I got minds of poets mirroring me here. I got fights ready for any 26 junta all night long. I'm gonna forget me nots around the city subs. I got all countries in my body, pierced in bushes. I get to speak for the unwritten, not a Facebook list. I got hate still to the pigs of powers. I got hanging thoughts of capitalist placement. I got honest of people's love. I am the man of my words, of your words, but be for you, and you said it okay before they cane us. We are the man and woman, voice of the reconciliation papers, as negotiation is a political action. Countries sub, no sus towns. Mission breeds we are. Facebook never touched my people's face for done having this society's gender. In this story, people harmony without the man, teasing till pressure, peace, ancient messengers, the very sound, gravelling, weary Australians. No dead earth, land seem relived, dead wheels seem the death bed of all. Brisbane blacks are sussing on stars under feet. Sydney blacks are bludgeon on sus under fools. Melbourne blacks are no street names houses. Adelaide blacks are sus in 49 gang stealing a sin. Darwin blacks sus light burnt in letter rudeness. Perth blacks are sus never known first perished. Cairn blacks are sus no care or less to test the rich. Broome blacks are sussing pushing sweeping floods not danced. Hobart blacks are sus when trees are unit, the land of sea, no new year. Every year the same. Vote out, vote in today's 250 years. Boat people still cold, old in holes. Hot 10 by me, woods not burnt. Facebook eyes, where are art intertwined? Warmed only by killer mates, sleep for the high solicitors sell compared to the itinerary our grant money ran out. Felled is the feeling when they are so blind the story was not touched. 'Cause throw fire pie in eyes is the cases. Courts, subs, no sus in towns. I am the mission black that says this big okay. Lucky country, sad, loser society. Australia not known by anyone. Australia not given by godparents. Australia not the future, mourning lovers when you'll war on the poor. Australia can be better to the beggar in rich classes. Australia, where's the carbon date tax refund of 100,000 years without rent arrears? Australia take the land away from dark people. The story still evades our hearts, mind, kick the spirits higher. Australia, your sportsman, sportswoman must be in your number out in the Antelope Aboriginals' day. Walk, run, fly to cellmates, first Australian, first spirit of health, first food, arm bodies to do it and do it right. Australia don't be a yellow cake pussy. Australia is a community, not societies. Australia not your country. The country belong to all natives. Yes, it's your society. Stay there. (1788) to the gates of 2028. Whitewash as another history now. Mythical voices are vast and empty in the society states. Commission fails all people's pamphlet, rap truth. Internationals are now alternatives for us natives' custodies. Time includes loves, confront on every theme's reviews of this antithesis. The revived Medicare mainstream projects are now blackfella madness. They conquered brave, noble men with ingenious, hard-working ideologies. Meant they are those dominants who have jubilee events by the obligations, cannot section us no more. The collapse of consequences gave us foreseeing rise of governmental continents. Blackwash, capitalistic to wear our body souls and valuing stock market. So Parliament stuffs us our Westminster's babies. Sacred sites are the first sites. No complex mind now, but spread over lives, corroborees. My and your mythicals are real to the facts of wealth in all their private new world orders. Us as history, another place we'll see, okay? By a virgin man. Let the virgin have a say, have a right to write. Let the blue not be far virgins. Centuries many virgins are healed. Not all virgins are boys or girls. Reduce the age of space to the land's lovers. Retrench the hurt virgins when the mind is small and despair of arts. Don't tragic the virgin's path, man of mad breeds. All virgins are poets. Let no woman say they're not. Give the virgin garden of silence, allowed enough to bring down evils, devils of butterfly talks. Let the virgin vote the government out of the entirely laws they make. No episode sun shines without a virgin cry in the rainbow of moons of lips. The sexes of virgins are sacred. Ashes to lasting always was the virgin earth, but the bodies run human transforms by a virgin man's. I abstract salt pans. I am we to the river in sky before the rain fell from the ground. I am softly in wild nest in the city descent as veins land cut over devil's dust. My gum-mouthed washing cling all mountainsides. I am those Australians snow hugged in the hot aerosol elaborated systems. I am wombat ready and the flight planes where roads kill them every day. I am all killed, no spirit policeman's. Yes, millennium sold garden man of a tribe, not colorblind. I am dispossession in style, barring about by possessions. Now artists, concentrants, they morph it privy, where divulge, boomerang the intriguing features. Well, a municipal belief is not beliefs when not a leaf. I am in account in gorgeous absorption. Yes, pause and print Ed Solomon Lind, ancestral travels. I am the pop art and the pointillism for resembling. I will identifiable to all family, broken families. I am notion, even central people here at my speaking. I am broadly at your enterprises. Anthology, our international. The international needs us black, red, and gold. Wars over, worries gone. Our international loves needs us on every unity walk for the talk. Here on earth, all people are personal to one's rights, yet the community wants our rich to reach for the poor. The international causes are same as the days ahead. The night differ, yet the blood feels same as cut. Are put into arms to cover the stars under our all feet. We have international kisses for not the soul lovers. Pain stay here as reigns of suffering leads help by the cost of life full. Let the human women's take us men to spaces, open with the dreaming stories for all international worlds. Is international, air national leaves. Now those entire anthologies are our internationals. Federation still lied, fibbed. We have been seen like this before, clumsy flint to make powers by our ways. Restaurant rant where we sit just to eat in soup, seated superficialities. The maulers of missiles are numbered to fire. They before have aired us by laws, devoiced, intelligent chapels, sentences, principle, distinctions on how we speak. now write even heart. Vedic besieged, many a native, surging brains, academic whipped by their own suffering. Scholar, spell, test, perfect emotion is stirred, primitive. We bridge this clash, wank station when colours are placed by price. Temporarily, property revolutionary distinguishes while hospital mouth flavoured checks. Eyes of oasis touch geological words. Past aspects are play out, foul mission brims. Boundaries where basin springs recharge gave pastoral islanders to the flatlines life's treasons. Master tribal blacks still break objectionable. We rich people relies on wildlife's treasures now. The poor peoples are centimetres of pipework planned alones. Wisdom borrows table, dugout, scrub lovers in alignments. We had this before, now this is now. Federation still wants your votes to lie.
What a nice reading. Mr. Fogarty, you were born on an Aboriginal reserve known to his people as Baramba. Yeah, Baramba, meaning wild wind coming over a mountain. Correct me if I'm wrong, but to me this sounds like an appropriate description for both you and your poetry, does it not?
Yeah, being born in the country, yeah, it's a good appropriation to it, yeah. It explains it quite well, but it doesn't fulfill the meaning in what I'm about.
No?
No.
What does then?
What does the song that goes with it? Yeah, that fulfills the mission.
So I was wrong. He's not a rock star.
That brings the poetry. That brings the poetry. Once you mention an Aboriginal word that's significant, it makes poetry come out in language more than the English.
Okay. In one of your poems, it's called Mad Souls. You didn't read it.
Which one?
Mad Souls.
Oh, Mad Souls.
Yeah. You write.
I sail away to Africa.
No, you write there, and you even repeat in that poem. I am a moody Murray, my temper as black as me. Do we need to be afraid of you?
Definitely not, because black doesn't mean the meaning of a color of our skin. It means something completely different. It's like some people have said black is before the universe ever started, and if you look at the universe, the beginning of it, you have a Yidaki there, and the Yidaki really explains what BLCK or whatever like that doesn't really cling in my mind. It clings in races, yeah, but we have to use that. Yeah. But Murray makes more better sense.
Better sense, yes.
Yeah.
But I think...
But black is being proud of one's identity when one put someone down, I think. I don't know. I don't know what black means, because they brought that word over. It could mean a name too.
But temper is good, and I think without temper you couldn't do what you do. You need your temper to keep up the struggle. You've been involved in...
I wouldn't say it's my temper. It's the anger and the temper of the community. The community brings that anger and that temper to you. You have your own little personal temper and anger. Of course, everyone, I'm a human. But once you I expanded out into the community, and the community give me that permission to produce the anger through English so they can stop terrorism by the government of Australia.
You've been involved in Aboriginal activism since the age of 15. Usually when you call a poet political, you run the risk that he or she punches you immediately in the face, not you, you're unabashedly a political poet with issues close to the heart of many Aboriginal people and indigenous people in general. Your subjects are injustice, land rights, identity, language, black deaths in custody. Would you say that you had no other choice than to write about those issues because they define who you are?
To break it really fast, when I was 15 years of age, I was set up on conspiracy charges against the state.
Yeah.
I was brought out of the mission, and it was to help a community named Palm Island to have their own community centre. And so once I got on them charges, I was in, and they put me in a big jail for big men, and I was only about 15 years of age. And then from there, they got me out of there and put me into the detention centre where I was supposed to be, and coming out, and the left wing and the right wing too in Australia were demonstrating about me being in there. So that built me up basically to understand what's political in society, because I always did have culture inside me, but it was squashed in the detribalised mission where I came from. And we had to revitalise that. It's not that English had any good flow in my heart. All it done was just brainwave me and made me have a cell sleeping brain where it's killing all my brain in my brain. So I had to use it as a tool. And that's what politicalism is. It's a tool. And politics, it gives you a headache. Oh my God, I'm on my brain, my wamba in my brain. We call it all stupid. And when politics come that way, it's better to break it down for traditional people when they speak in language and know a little tiny bit of English. And then when someone come out there as articulate as me, never been to university, but I got a cap.
Okay.
And these kind of things, it helps the younger traditional people coming up to understand that you don't have to get involved with the democracy and the Federation of Australia to be clogged up in that and be trapped in their system, whereas you can break away from that and become an egalitarian instead of a neo-colonialistic.
Okay, you only need poetry. You, in an interview, you said, poetry is only relevant when it changes the bloody law, and poetry is only relevant when it boosts love of intelligence and also futuristically gives younger people the courage and confidence to overcome all political matters and emotional slaughters. Gosh, there's a lot at stake.
Yes, I believe in love. I think that love is the cure and love is the conquer of will, not personal love, but people's love. Like, for example, I wrote a poem called Love Awakens With Me, Love Rises With Me. Love is a black newborn, came fringe dwellers on my love. Love wakens with me, love walks with me. The school don't give love, so we Aborigine power got to give you love. Proud and simply love. It's a dreaming, love is a togetherness. It goes something like that. So I wrote about when they brought all our people down, like they're doing with the refugees now in Australia, pretty oppressive, but they've done it like us too, took us from our countries up north, east and west, and brought us down into this reserve like Chevy, about 27 different tribes to nearly 30 at that time, and shoved us there. And so I wrote about all the fringe dwellers when they were coming in to make the reserve the mission. And I wrote about my grandmother, my grandfather, father, mother. And that love still exists. And if you have that kind of love, it can break down the barriers within the parliament. It makes actually people like Kevin Rudd say, sorry. What a load to carry from a white man.
Love is very powerful, but what about language? You use language as a weapon, as a spear, to point at our cultural assumptions. And you challenge us to reconfigure those assumptions. How powerful is language? Can language change
Aborigine language you're talking about, or English language? I believe that English language is powerful, but to a degree where it's not going to change nothing, because their law is like when they brought Shakespeare to Australia. It was like a cup of tea and biscuit for the racists. Legislations around campfire singing, "My jelly bong, jelly ding dong, on the old campfire trail," this almighty g'day stuff. I brought all that in for them, after 100 years or something like that, they had Shakespeare to rely on for the next 50 to 100 years for their racist legislations. And at the moment we have 150 communities in Western Australia that's been dismantled. So I find that didn't produce any love. These kind of, the word in love in English too really confuses me. L-O-V-E. It confuses me because it has no meaning to it, really, unless it's in my language, you know, like jangala.
That means that's love in your language?
Almost.
Jangala.
Almost, yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll practice jangala. Yeah. I'll practice. In the introduction, I called your language like, I compared it to a self-made bomb because you mingle Aboriginal English and Australian English and Standard English. You render the verbs into nouns and vice versa, you know. I mean, the description of your language. A critic said you exhaust the reader with your language and even bring him to despair. But isn't that what the revolution takes?
I don't think no one should be exhausted once you know how to read a thesis or some political statement or something like, or the newspaper. You shouldn't be exhausted from it, and that's a wrong statement for that person to say. I don't think
it's
it exhausts
a critic,
people.
You know.
If they read my one poem and it's all English in it, right, and it's trying to give about 3 different standard of message in it and 3 different images, but then you go to another poem that has a bit of Aboriginal language in it, which helps stimulate you to understand it. It won't collapse you, it won't make you feel no good. You know, it brings you back to some sort of a conscious reason in the cultural sense that one day we'll have the Constitution to recognise our people in Australia. One day we'll have a one-day vacation in Australia. One day we'll recognise the Indigenous stolen wages in Australia, which is starting a little tiny bit, and all the land has been taken, you know. But the most important is that one day we'll have an anthem in Aboriginal Australia, sang in Aboriginal Australia. This is heading towards that way, where the Constitution is still lagging in a boat. You know, it's a shipwreck there, Australia, a big shipwreck.
In an interview also you once said, I am mosaic in reading. I nitpick readings. I often read back to front, similar to Chinese. Would that be a good manual to read your poetry as well?
I'd say yes, in a certain way, because I really love the meaning where you can read English backwards and still get a meaning out of it, if you do it proper. And, you know, yeah, I believe in that. I believe in Mao Zedong anyway.
Well, nitpicking in your poetry, the first line I saw there was, love is a kangaroo, manjala is a kangaroo, which means?
Love is a kangaroo, love is a emu. Love is a black newborn cancer, well as my love. Yeah, that's the description of the thing I was talking before.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Beautiful.
Yeah, but it's not so much the meaning in that little sentence or the poem in that, love is a kangaroo, love is a emu, is to take away the symbol from the Australian government, which stole it off a couple of people in Australia, from South Australia. They took that symbol and they put it up there, emu and a kangaroo. And it's trying to explain that you can't symbolise our culture with exploitation in the country. And we have a culture of genocide in Australia that's so bad that they need to be learned how to love nature. And if they can't love their city or their towns, they have to love nature. And the only way they can love the nature, they have to have practice, and that's our culture. That's our song, our dance, our paintings. Our paintings have more symbols and more meaning in it than any words ever written in Australia. We have 4,000, 5,000 Aboriginal authors in Australia that's published and on the way, basically. And I think that with saying that, you find the carvings in the ground and the sand paintings. When you do sand painting, it's gone then, but that's writing.
Well, Mr. Wild Wind Coming Over a Mountain, we love your poetry. I hope that's a good start. Thank you for this conversation and for the reading. Nog eens een applaus, alsjeblieft.
Mademoiselle, thank you.
Tijd nu, dierbaar publiek, voor een dichter uit Spaans Baskeland. Eigenlijk ook een soort van reservaat dat naar de naam Wild Wind Coming Over a Mountain zou kunnen luisteren. U zet zich al meteen schrap, zie ik. Sommige mensen lopen zelfs weg. In de volle overtuiging dat u grof poëtisch geschut over de ETA nu over u heen zult krijgen. Maar niks is minder waar. Anders dan voor Mr. Fogarty is voor deze dichter de geboorteplek niet het centrale lijntje in zijn biografie. Hij gaat er juist prat op tot de eerste generatie Baskische auteurs te behoren voor wie in het Baskisch schrijven geen politiek statement is, maar iets natuurlijks. De werkelijkheid die hij ons in zijn gedichten laat zien, is dan ook de moderne, verontrustende realiteit. Oh, hoe precies en vol mededogen wijst deze dichter ons op onze kleine doch wrede oorlogen, op onze broosheid en ontoereikendheid, op onze gebrekkige omgang met elkaar en onze moeilijke verhouding tot tijd en ruimte. Wij worden met andere woorden liefdevol gefileerd door hem en vinden dat blijkbaar nog prettig ook. Zo bewijzen de vele titels en prijzen waarmee hij inmiddels is behangen. Hij is dan ook heel jong met poëzie begonnen. Hij had nog geen eens een echte baard toen hij als dichter debuteerde met de bundel Zoals rook in laaghangende mist. En is nu 2 decennia later, niet meer weg te branden uit de Baskische letteren. U zou in hem de poëziekoning van Spaans Baskeland kunnen zien, maar zelf noemt hij zich liever het belangrijkste stuk dat ontbreekt op een schaakbord. De nar. Hoe het ook zij, een duivelstoejager is hij zeker. Naast poëzie publiceerde hij ook verhalen, romans en essays. Hij schreef scripts voor radio en televisie, teksten voor kinder- en jeugdboeken en sinds kort verrijkt hij zijn oeuvre zelfs met graphic novels. Maar u bent hier uiteraard voor de dichter. En in zijn geval is dat een jongleur met woorden, een en al behendigheid met beelden. Iemand die ook vaak met artiesten uit andere disciplines, zoals muziek en kunst, waaronder samenwerkt. Een hedendaags dichter, zoveel is zeker, die met grote naturel zapt tussen tederheid en humor, tussen intellectualisme en alledaagsheid, tussen avant-garde en popcultuur, tussen zijn vertrouwde Baskeland en New York. Los van het leven heeft kunst geen zin, heeft hij in zijn gedicht De trap van Mayakovsky. Welnu, na vanavond heeft uw leven, dames en heren, los van zijn poëzie wellicht ook geen zin meer. Hier is, nu, waar zijn de jongleurs, de narren en de olifanten als je ze nodig hebt om iemand met veel bombarie aan te kondigen? Harkaitz Cano.
Good night. Zorrak. Medikuen arabera kaltzioa falta zaizu ezurretan. Eta zaharren gaixotasuna iristen diozu azaldu berri dizutenari. Zaharrena eta emakumeena. Arduratu da zehazteaz, ezker belarriaren parean bizi zaizun kontzientzia. Emakumearena gratia esan, elitzaizuke bat ere axola izango urrengo bizitza batean emakume jaiotzea. Boterea izateko era bihurri bat da aldaku. Aurrez, zinenaren memoria zati bat gordetzen jakinezkero. Baina zahartzearena. Hori ere onartzen hasteko sasoian zaude. Dena denbora kontua da edo denbora faltarena. 15 urte bete zenituenea lagun batek oparetutako diskoa jarri duzu tokatan, 5 minutu ere ezin duzu jasan musika hori. Atean jo dute. Gosekilen bat, Otsaila zor didazu, esaldi hori. Heriotza denborak baino lehen topatu duen gizajoren baten kexua dateke bigarren instantzia zerutiar batean. Otsaila, hilabeterik krutelena. Bururatu zaizu erantzun bat ugazabarentzat, arrazoi erligiosoak medio, axola altzaizu otsaila zahaztuko bagina eta 2 martxo zor izango nizkizuke hartara. Isilik geratzen zara hala ere. Ate irekiak nekez eusten zaitu, otsaila zor didazu, entzun duzu berriro. Sentitzen ezake, bai horixe, otsaila, badu jada bere izena, zure ezurretan bizi den izainak. Kimioterapia. Ospitale bat baino deprimenteagoa gauza bakarra dago. Eta ez da hilerri bat. Baizik eta ospitalera doa linea erregularreko autobus bat jendez betea. Jende hori nork bere radiografia besapean duela, sobre batean begira da, ez zu eta ez ni, ikustera ailega ez gaitezkeen putzu sakon batean galdurik. Unkigarria da. Kimioterapia eman dioten 6 urteko aurraren zehazka irribarrea. Agureak radiografiak leioko argitara lerratzen, begira, horko punto txuri hori da, aldarrikatu zalegera. Eta batez ere 2 emakume horiek hizketan 9 Inch Nails zure Wallmaneko musikari gailenduz, atzoko malkoaren amildegia ganditu nahi duten hitzak entzutea. Ikusiko duzu, esaten diot nik senarrari. Ikusiko duzu gurpildun aurkia ekartzen dugunean, ze paseo emango ditugun biok. Korrekaminos eta koiotea deituko digutea Ismael. Korrekaminos eta koiotea. Zirrara bat sentitzen dut hori entzutean. Eta gero paralisia ezkerreskura edo eskuinekora edatu zaion zehaztuko du emakume adoretsuak. Bakoitzak bere radiografia, besapean, bere minbizikuota, bere abandonua, bere kristalezko begia, bere 86 graduko gibela. Hori, unkigarria ezpada. Intzinera gaizatela, haizea, aizkora bihurtu arte. Gure arnasaren zai dago Ismael, imagina dezakegu oraindik. Pertsona, baina denbora gutxirako agian, Ismael. Xakera jolasten hankak estaltzen dizkion manta eskoziarraren gainean. Batzuetan asperen, eta beste batzuetan irribarre egiten duen bitartean pertsona oraindik Ismael. Biziduna ez zenez marrazki. Korrekaminos eta koiote argi ibili. Ikusiko duzue gurpildun aurkia ekartzen digutenean. Telefonoz deitzen diodan jendea. Badago garai batean asko maitatu eta orain urtebetetze egunean soilik deitzen diozun jendea. Lan kontuak aizatu eta mesede eske deitzen diozuna. Fakultadeko inozoren bat, zure frakasoaren temperatura berritzeko hots egiten dizuna. Ni ez, baina bera, inoiz ez. Badago emazteak utzi zaituenean soilik deitzen diozun jendea, senarrak utzituenean soilik deitzen dizuna bestalde. Badago gertuago balego hainbeste deituko etzeniokeenik, badago kontu hartzeko deitzen diozun jendea, kargu hartzeko hots egiten dizuna, badago 4 urtean behin deitu arren, masailez masail eta harimaz harima espiritua epeldu, eta zurekin dagoela sentiarazten dizun jendea. Badaude basamortuko ispilukeria deiak, komertzial zapustuak, le interesaria si le ha tocado un... Badago jendea, deituko diat nik berehala. Beti norbait garrantzitsuagoa duena beste adarrean, eta gero ez du deitzen. Badago jendeari whisky batez ordaintzeagatik deitu, eta azkenean deia tragoa bera baino garestiago ordainarazten dizuna. Badago, deitu ezin diozun jendea. Haserre dagoelako zurekin, edo kartzelan, edo zuta zahaztuta, edo hilik, faena bat. Badago zurekin hitz egiten duen bitartean sudurtzuloa aztatzen duela gehiegi nabaritzen zaionik. Badago jendea sekula telefonorik hartu ez. Baina beti hor dagoena txirrinotxak zenbatzen gela ilunean edo xampaina kopa bat eskuan mahatsale bana irensten txirrinotx bakoitzeko. Badago jendea ez dizuna deitzen. Badakielako beste norbaitek hartuko duela agian. Badago jendea geratzeko deitzen dizuna eta badago bere geratzeko modua telefonoz mintzatzea bera dena. Badago hilaren 13an deitzen dizuna beti malenkonia esoteriko apur batez behar bada. Dakizuna berresteko deitzen diozuna, kontra egin diezazun deitzen diozuna, edo markatzen hasi eta bere telefonoaren azken zenbakia jada inoiz gogoan ez duzuna. Eta gero dago, zu bezala, oso bakanetan deitzen diodan jendea. Adibidez sueten bat eman, edo apurtu, edota elurra ari duenean kanpoan, esateko, eta oain zer? Edo elurra ari din horrere? Eta zuk, bai, ari dik. Malgua denbora. Motelago doa denbora atzerriko hirietan. Horregatik iesak, horregatik aire konpainia eskaxak, horregatik jetlaga. Edo ez ustean liluratu zaituen usain ezatsegin hori. Horregatik planoai buruz bera begiratzeko joera. Motelago doa denbora ez ezagunen etxeetan. Horregatik hotelak, horregatik bisitak, itxarongelekiko gogo hori, horregatik kaleko sirena hotzen abiadan ambulantziak suhiltzaileetatik bereizteko grina asegaitza. Motelago doalako denbora gorputz arrotzetan. Horregatik zai egon beharra ekarriko duen maitalen xerka, horregatik zauriak. Motelago doalako denbora zaurien gainean. Mina, eternitate faltsu baten promesa faltsua delako. Esplorazio guztiak, kepiak buruan edo hartzalarrua soinean egindakoak, zaldiz, mendiz, airez edo itxasoz egindako espedizio guztiak, heroikoak eta eguneroko ostera txikiak, Scott Shackleton, Dibosin kapitaina, erlojua geratzeko, denborari trabes egiteko, ahalegin xaloak ote ziren. Motelago baitoa denbora, beti elurra apartatu edo aiotzarekin oianean sasia garbitzen zabiltzanean. Bide ezagunetan aldiz, azkarrago pasatzen dira orduak. Hori da ordaina, galduta zaudenean doala motelen denbora. Amildegian motelago lautadan baino, basoan motelago xenda seguruan baino. Xendan dagoenak, basora begiratzen du beti bertan laino. Basoa nahi luke galdu denbora, bera denboran ez galtzeko, eta denborak ez alferri galtzeko bera, akaso. Esan dadoa. Inork ez du egundo denbora malgu hori errenditu. Katedun erlojuetan kate begi utzgu. Basoan umeak egin, eta basoan galtzen diren umeen ipuinak egiten jarraitzen dugu. Motelago igarotzen delako denbora beti, bide ez ezagunetatik goazenean. Teilatuetan lan egiten duen jendea. Zure batik sekula ezagutu ez duzun jende hori da. Gogoratzen saiatu arren, arrotzak zaizkizun izen eta zenbaki horiek guztiak. Teilatuetan lan egiten duen jendeak ez dizu sekula aitortuko, baina badaki zerua ez dela urdina. Samuraien izarekin egindako banderen zurrumurrua bereizten badaki, haizearen menera dagoenean. Teilatuetan lan egiten duen jendeak jende horrek du benetako bertigoa. Teilatuetan lan egiten duen jendeak ezingo luke gau klub batean edo kafetxe bateko hormen artean lan egin. Teilaren bat aske egon daitekeen susmoa dutenean, trazatu keinuak adierazten duen eran, teilatuetan lan egiten duen jendea tango zalantzatien irakasle izan zen, ezain aspaldiko bizitza batean. Teilatuetan lan egiten duen jendeak presa orduak eta jende pilaketak saiesten ditu, jendetzak eta autobusek eta leuzemiaren usainak eta gehiegi hitzak. Mundua bere buztinezko artesietatik amilarazteko arriskua balego bezala. Teilatuetan lan egiten duen jendea ez da fio, gaizeko bostetan kale hutsez ere. Eta teilatuetatik jaisten den apurretan, espaloia utziz errepideko zebrabidea zapaldu aurretik, oin bakar batez ziurtatzen du lehen bizi, asfaltuaren gogortasuna. Zer gerta ere, oinenpean, ibai izoztu bat, ondoratuko zaion beldurrez. Objektu galduak, esperantza aurkituak. Nietzscherentzat esperantza zen derrotaren hasiera. Baina izan gintezke erradikalago ere. Gauza guztien hasiera bera da derrotaren hasiera. Guztio gara galtzaile. Soilik batzuek, beste batzuek baino, polikiago galtzen dutela. Zer modu zabiltza galdetzen dugu doakabe. Poliki erantzuten dugu, jakin gabe. Irabaztea esaten diogu nonbait poliki galtzeari. Baina nik, galtzea maite ez dudan honek, biziki maite dut galtzea basoan, batez ere galtzea azala eta musika, eta arnasa eta larrua darien basoetan. Ene diarioak eta izkiriaturik aurkitu ditudanak. Ogia, lagunak, ardoa. Urrenkera horretan. Frankenstein doktoreak sortzen duen munstroak esaten dituen lehen hiru hitzak. Hainbeste borroka, katramila, sesio, hainbeste literatura eta hainbeste arrokeria, azkenean, bueltan, gauza guztietan pentsalari greziarrei arrazoia emateko. Edo are okerrago dena, zure gurasoei. Ume irlandar lealistak errana, handitzean zer izan aiote duen galdetu dion kazetariari. Preso oia. Felt Arthur Millerrek sortutako pertsonaiak esandakoa. Aukeratu beharra dago. Gizakia fidel izan dakioke bere buruari, edo fidel izan dakieke gainerakoei. Gainerakoei fidel, eta nor bere buruari fidel izatea, hori ezinezkoa da. Emazteak senarrari. Gu biotako bat hilko balitz, ni Parisera joango nintzateke bizitzera. Sigmund Freuden txisterik gustokoena. Garraio publikoetan galdutako beste egun bat. Zail egiten zait, idazlea ala garai batean komertzio viajante. Esaten zitzaion hori otena izen bereiztea gaur bezalako egunetan. Idazle hitza ere viajante hitza bezain sasoiz kanpokoa eta iraungia ote den susmoa, gero eta errotuago nire baitan. Egin leku, predikatzaile berri. Ez erortzea da, eraikinen berezko joera. J.R. Amondarain. Esperientzia. Esperientzia da lortzen duzuna, nahi duzuna lortzen ez duzunean. Ratab Manzil. Seme alabak. Seme alabak gerraren jarraipena dira beste bitarteko batzuekin. Xaket aulan falta den piezari garrantzitsuena, bufoia. zure fedea meharra eta euskorra dela diozu. Baina izu, ze fede ez da mehar eta euskor. Mehar eta euskor ezten fedeari beste izen bat eman behar genioke. Xalotasuna, ameskeria, disiplina. Jainkoak inkontzienteei laguntzen die. Tamalez, haiek ez dira enteratzen. Thank you.
Señor Cano, felicidades.
¿Qué pasó? Gracias.
Well, you're not born in Aboriginal Reserve.
No, not really.
But in El País Vasco, which is a kind of a reserve itself. And because, well, you're a minority, you speak a language that only 3 million people speak.
Only 1 million people.
Only
really.
1 million,
1
yes,
million,
because
yeah.
the other 2 million
They don't.
French. Yeah. How frustrating is it to write poetry in a language with so few readers, in the original language, of course?
Oh, it's not frustrating at all, because we don't have many readers, but we have freedom. So we have no market pressure. We can write whatever we want. We're free to write. It's the difference between being a best-selling author or being a cult author is so small. So there's no we have many advantages too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, you were
We have a
born
very well articulated literary system and daily newspapers and public radio and TV. So we are not that few. The fact is that unlike other minorities like Iceland, let's say, they are only 300,000 with such a powerful literary and musical scene. But unlike Iceland, we don't have our own state. So the perception of the Basque Country is maybe diminished by this fact, not having our own state. But in terms of statistics, 1 million, it's okay, you can survive with 1 million neighbors.
Only advantages, I can tell. In one of the poems, Roadrunner and Coyote were popping up. You've once dedicated an entire poem actually to Coyote. It's called Gospel Mass. And in that poem, you confess that you like Coyote better than Roadrunner.
Who doesn't?
You say, in Dutch it sounds like that. Ik heb altijd gedroomd dat ik Roadrunner geroosterd zag worden op een chicken grill. I've always dreamt of seeing Roadrunner roasted on a chicken grill. Where does your Roadrunner hate come from?
I don't know. Hate and rage are powerful sources of poetry and literature. We don't usually...
I thought it was love.
Love also,
okay.
but we don't usually talk about hate and rage. Rage Against the Machine was one of my favorite bands in the 90s, back in the 90s. So rage and hate can also be a powerful source for poetry and literature. And I think that my love, that's love, for this cartoon character, comes from... you love the underdog, you love the loser, because this life and literature and everything is about loss. It's about losing all the time, about failing. Samuel Beckett put it that way. Fail and fail and fail to fail again and fail better. So I'm trying to fail.
The beginning of everything is the beginning of the defeat.
Yeah.
In one of the poems.
Yeah, that's it. You're losing. From here to here, you lose. You're always losing. So as I put it before, we call winning, but as a matter of fact, it is a slow defeat. We call it winning, but you are losing. The fact that you are losing slowly. So that makes a change. The impression that you are winning, but you're not. So you better realize that as soon as possible.
In time. Well, despite your rage and hate, I can also feel a lot of empathy with human inadequacy, human error in your poetry. Is it a way to accept your own errors?
Sure, it could be. That's nothing new. On the other hand, Flaubert put it that way. Yes? Madame Bovary, c'est moi. Until now, yeah, we try. Now sometimes it's easier to realize others' inadequacies, but you're always in the mirror of the poem. So every character you write about is yourself sometime, somehow. I mean.
Well, Madame Bovary, c'est moi. You write in a poem, I am Basquiat. And Basquiat is a neo-expressionistic graffiti artist.
I love it.
And I presume you identify with him. I presume not because he had a relationship with Madonna at a certain time, or he killed him while he died of an overdose. Must be something else.
It's something else. Yeah.
Why do you identify
with him? At that time,
him?
I should say that when Jean-Michel Basquiat was dating Madonna wasn't well known at all. It was the year 81, 80, and she worked in a Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh.
So
you have to start somewhere.
It's another poem that we should write sometime. Madonna working in a Dunkin' Donuts. It's a good starting for a poem. But anyway, Jean-Michel Basquiat, I love his commitment with life and art, because how he worked with his canvases in the floor, drinking coffee, and spilling coffee over the paintings, and the canvases and life were all the same. So I like very much this way. So I try to spill coffee in my poems too from time to time. You know, even when Madonna or his former girlfriend called Jean-Michel Basquiat, he used to write down the phone numbers in the canvases, and then when he got mad with his girlfriends, he used to cross out the phone numbers. And you know that crossing out something is the best way to underline, so you can pay more attention. So I love it too, the crossing and all the naive way to paint, and the fact that Jean-Michel Basquiat started in the streets doing graffiti. I love it too, yeah.
Well, in his work you see those phone numbers and everything, but you have a poem, it's called Written in Snow, where you say that it irritates you when you see the hand of the artist in his work. So you called yourself a joker, you know, the missing part of a chessboard. But maybe you're more like a David Copperfield who wants to disappear out of his work.
Eventually, as I said before, we all of us will disappear sooner or later. So that's something that we'll accomplish. So I'm not worried about this way of disappearing. You don't have to be David Copperfield. You will disappear for sure. It's a matter of waiting enough. So, but yes, I do not like this poem that is round and finished and polished and overcooked. And I don't know. I like this. When a poem seems a little bit like a sketch, or sometimes in a stanza, or in the ending, or at the beginning, there is something rough about the poem. I like it because the roughness is sometimes the place where the ray of light comes into the poem too. So if there is something that you cannot utterly understand at the first sight, it is good also, because you will come back to this poem and you will read it again. So I like it too, this way of not finishing, not polished,
actually, I also read in your poetry an invitation to be kind to one another. We should be kind to one another. And in time, now, we shouldn't wait. And I'm actually very, very disappointed that you didn't read one poem.
Let's do count.
Yes, and maybe because it's almost time people have to go to bed.
Last one.
We should read this together. It's so beautiful because it's like a definition of poetry and life at the same time. So it's a very nice lesson before you go to bed. We read it together.
Amabi sardin zar, lehen bailen kontsumituak izateko.
12 oude sardines voor onmiddellijk gebruik.
Poema liburu on batek izan beharko luke arrain kutxa bat bezalakoa.
Een goede dichtbundel moet zijn als een krat vis.
Fosforo eta kalzio iturri elikagarri freskoa.
Een bron van fosfor en calcium, voedzaam en vers.
Edo, izu laborri zarengandik iesi ateratzeko sentipena sortzen duen deskarga.
Of een schok die ons doet wegvluchten in doodsangst.
Arrain usteldu ikatzezko arrainburu hortz eta begi zorrotzena.
Rotte vis, verkoolde vissenkoppen met geslepen tanden en ogen.
Bietarik bat.
Eén van beide.
Eta alakoa behar luke, poema liburu on bat bezalakoa, gure bizitzak.
En zo zou ook moeten zijn als een goed dichtbundel ons leven. Mooi hè?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
One little more question to end this night. There's a festival activity set up here around the question, does reading poetry make you happy? Well, I would like to alter the question a little bit. Does writing poetry make you happy?
I don't know, but it will be worse if I don't write. If I wouldn't write. I mean, it's much better writing. Even though happiness is something you can rarely achieve or grasp, it's something that, and it's better this way because otherwise,
So we have
which
to
is the
long for.
value of happiness if there is there for you to grab every time. It's not funny at all, I guess. So.
But tonight you gave us a little bit of happiness with your poetry.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias. Ook nog... Mag ik ook nog een heel warm applaus voor Lionel George Fogarty. Oh, zie. Zo. Prachtig. Dan wens ik wil jullie in eerste plaats bedanken voor jullie aandacht. Jullie waren een fantastisch publiek. Ik kon het voelen, ik kon de warmte voelen. En dan heb ik nog een paar huishoudelijke mededelingen. Ik wil jullie natuurlijk warm maken om morgen terug te komen. Er is heel veel te doen vanaf 2:30. Allerlei spannende programma's, jongerenprogramma's en zo. Er wordt ook een belangrijke prijs uitgereikt morgen, de C. Buddingprijs. Maar mag ik u vooral uitnodigen om morgenavond opnieuw naar hier te komen. Same time, same place. Want dan mag ik opnieuw 2 dichters in de armen sluiten. Jen Hatfield uit Shetland, u weet wel van de ponies. En Niels Christian Moe Repstad. Ik ga nog een beetje oefenen in mijn Noors tot voor morgen. Heel erg bedankt en graag tot morgen. Dag.